The early morning empire, whoa, it's all things Minecraft, here we go. The early morning empire, let's start the show.
Yes, indeed, let's start the show. My name is Deadmon5, you are awesome, and this is Alien Morning Empire. You know, it's actually a bit of a somber note this morning. This is the very last day Daybreaker will ever see the hill. So let's just take a moment of silence for our fallen brethren. Just a moment of silence, please.
Let's correct Deadmon. Let's cut this moment of silence because he won't be thinking about the hill for that much longer. When he is in his coffin after failing to stand on the hill, and his diss track flops and mine demolishes him, he won't be able to even say the hill without feeling shame.
Some things you just gotta let go. And the hill is gonna be one of those things. Like, you've had a good run. You babysat it well in my absence, but it's true, Master is here now.
Well, I hope you're able to take your own advice.
It's really gonna be like double damage because I'm gonna take it today, and the diss track will completely eliminate any hope you have.
Well, I hope it's good. But we all know it's gonna flop. Sorry, Mon.
Yeah.
Alright, just grabbing my stuff and I'll be there to reclaim.
Server's been, I don't know if it's the server or what, but like I did a teleport sign and I fall through the world for a few seconds prior to logging in.
It's already fighting against you.
I might just want, I think the game is taking pity on you too, because I have secret weapons today. Well,
Your Marlix gear?
yes, that's my secret weapons, even though it's like defense.
Alright.
Okay, before we begin, I will say Daybreaker and I have agreed that we will not be using the spawn which sends you to the top of the hill. I'm actually trying to figure out which spawn that is. Is it top left or middle left?
It's bottom right.
Bottom right?
So we won't be
okay, so we won't be using the bottom right one. We must each fight our way up to the top of the hill and maintain the position on the top of the hill. Trademark.
You can go up there first if you want. I'm just organizing my inventory still, but...
I'm just getting really good, like, cinematics.
Oh no, my trident's not here. Alright, I guess I can't use my trident trick to swoop on up, so it'll be even more fair.
I didn't even think about bringing my trident. I forgot you could riptide up, yeah.
Yeah, it was my method. It was a bit cheap though, so I'm alright not having it.
Let's see, we got the staircase and the bridge. I think those are the only two ways besides riptide. It's a very defendable position, I will give it that.
Well, yes, it is the hill.
Trademark.
Don't go trademarking things you don't own.
You know, the hill and I were just made for each other. Like, it just... You can still be friends. You can visit the hill on
I'm going in.
Here we go.
I want my hill.
Your hill?
I mean... the hill you do not own.
Spiteful till the end.
Look at you, already dying.
I'm not dead yet.
Might as well start the timer.
The timer.
Nice Marlix armor, it's working quite well, I see.
Quit lagging, please. I'm lagging pretty bad, actually. That's weird.
Yeah, it's the lag. So is the lag.
That actually is pretty bad. You should look at
No, I do see it on stream.
well.
Your ping is 145.
Yeah.
Nice arena.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if you saw that on your screen or not. Let me go back to the spawn.
Come on, Mosquito Squad. Show up. Fight for the hill. Don't let Deathmon
Your brethren
Tried
have
it.
abandoned you.
strengthen his false claim.
Even your blasphemers have left you behind. Get off my hill. Thank you. Now that all is right in the world, let us begin the evening with some. Get off the hill. Ow! I don't know if this works. I'm gonna give it a shot. Hua!
No, tridents, or sorry, not tridents. Totems don't work in PvP.
Sad days. That's okay. It gives me a chance to equip the shield, which I barely use. Whoa! That was some lag.
My secret weapon.
Knockback 20 or something. That was pretty potent. Sheesh.
Oh yeah.
What the heck is that? Sheesh.
Yes, it works.
He's cheating.
Now we see your words are empty, and the hill never belonged to you.
When you resort to knockback 20. What is that anyway? Knockback 2 is what I run. You give up the hill for positioning.
It's a candy cane
You can't
card.
even respect the hill. You forfeit the hill for position. Does
But I
candy
reclaimed
canes-
it quite easily.
Does Candy Cane Sword just have like a heck of a knockback or something?
It has knockback 5.
Nah, that's why.
Damn it.
It's really like a 50-50 shot as to where they're gonna end up. I don't have very many arrows, so you'll have to come to me. Goodbye.
Alright,
So,
alright.
so how did you did you enjoy your little stint on the hill?
My little scent, I've had the hill for most of this thing.
How you doing, buddy?
Nice one. Taking your own advice and giving up positioning, I see.
I forgot you could swing the sword on the hill, on the ladder.
Well, I'm sure that was the last time you'll ever see the hill.
Yeah, I shouldn't have wasted that. Oh, that wasn't you.
No. Conductor Conduit is in here.
Well, I saw them in the games, but I hadn't seen them in the arena yet. Neither with where's Mario Fellows at? Here we go.
Here we go. It's a Mario Fellows.
Oh, I'm lagged out again. Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, you're frozen for a second.
I'm getting cheated out of the hill. Oh. Crap, 1 second. I wonder if it's... It looks like the stream's gonna start to lag soon, too. Dang it.
Is it your internet provider, or are they just...
It must be, yeah, because... Although I thought it was doing fine, but apparently not.
You're on 765 ping.
You guys keep your armor and look into this. I've not had
Alright.
success with YouTube since the Switch. But this one might actually be a internet problem, which I don't have very often.
If you've just tuned in, Deadmon is working on internet issues. Just give him a second.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you went in the arena.
What?
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't hear you from the top of the hill.
Okay.
I actually did have internet problems though. See if it happens again.
Look at him faking out internet problems to get an advantage. Cheap moves. I'm going the other way. Screw that.
Oh. Riptide. Ah! Mini blasphemers on top of the hill. Ah, now must fight conductor on the way to the top. Ha ha! Ha! I need to, like, establish a diabolical laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, the Enderblade teleports you up? I just got that message.
I pressed F4 instead of actual 4.
That's the thing, I was like, why did he not kill me? I had like half a heart. That's why I was like, did I lag out? I thought I lagged out again. You said bottom right, so we'll go top right this time. Wait, where is this? Okay. I guess that's okay. That's at the very bottom of the hill. I believe there's one that... Don't turn around. I believe there's one that teleports you on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah, I think so.
So, while we are fighting for the hill, we must talk about your sci-fi list. Did you make a decision on Godzilla?
Yes.
And what was the decision?
So here was my decision. I found if it was going to be considered a sci-fi movie, it was going to be pretty high because it's a pretty dang good movie. But I just felt like it didn't fit sci-fi as much as it fit horror, thriller, or political drama. So I decided it would not be eligible.
I could agree with that. That's the thing. Like, I think Godzilla. I don't really think sci-fi. I think like a monster movie. Like,
Yeah.
the entire Godzilla's. We'll bring up The Thing in a second, but like King Kong is another one. I'd even consider like Jaws a monster movie, even though you don't see him very often. But like
Well,
the whole
that's
film was,
when monster movies
or
do the
sus-
best. You don't see them.
Yeah, actually, the only reason that is the way it was is because the mechanical shark they used didn't work half the time, so they had to like come up around it. But it actually worked out very well because obviously it built suspense. So when you finally did see him, you're like, oh man.
Oh yeah.
So that could actually probably be really close to a thriller too, or suspense and things like that. But you have to do well, I'd say monster film sometime, but there's really not a whole lot of good ones to choose from. So like,
I just ranked the Godzilla movie.
pretty much.
Yeah, that's all it would be.
The Thing could be considered a monster movie, but I don't really consider it that way because of. Well, you're the
No, it's
critic,
like
so
a
you tell me
mystery
why.
sci-fi
Yeah.
thriller.
So I'd say it's more of a sci-fi thriller than. Come on, give up your position. That
Back to the-
knockback is wicked. I'm going to pick up a candy cane sword. I do have an ender blade, but I don't really want to use it.
Damn.
I was gonna say I have half a heart. Like I wasn't gonna last too much longer, and I was on fire, so I was just
From
kind of
the
waiting.
grave.
I was just waiting to die. Yeah, but okay. It looks like the game is picked up now, so I don't know if it was. I'm assuming it was just the internet going wonky. Although that doesn't usually happen to me. Like I usually have pretty good, and I'm wired in too versus Wi-Fi. So.
Make sure you check out our shield.
Oh, I've seen it, and the. Oh, sheesh. Like, watching knockback from, like, a third party, it just yeets them. Hey, Mario. Hey, Fred. Come on. Take the shot. Take the shot. Ha ha, I blocked it. Take the shot. Ha ha ha. Take the shot. Besides the floating arrows, I think I'm doing alright. And to be fair, I think those actually hit the top.
He's done it for too long.
Oh,
This has to be stopped.
there's a bunch of arrows flying at me, so I'm trying to watch the staircase, trying to. It's me, Mario. Yeah, there we go.
Right as I was approaching behind you.
I could see. I just had the priority at my of the barrage. I want to say voyage, but that didn't sound right. So it's
Boy,
yeah. Barrage is the word I was hunting for. Someone's using an ender blade. Is that you?
no, that's a conduit.
I'm gonna say because I could see like the little end bubbles. I guess I don't really know what they call those things. How you doing? Yeah, I know. Like this isn't 1v1 anymore. It's us. It's everyone for the hill. We have the false prophet and the true ruler. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, don't worry. I've told my fellow worshippers of the hill that we cannot team, so
Ah.
that's why I'm attacking them.
Oh, I'm proud of myself. Yesterday at work, I got to hit somebody with the 2 times 0 is still 0 line, and it was hilarious.
Nice.
I don't know if they got it, but I got it, and it made me laugh.
They say to deserve that.
So there was like 2 other. You said there was like 2 movie slots open, and so the Thing made it. And what's the other one then? Or have we decided what the very last film to make it in the list is?
Well, I can't tell you what's at the bottom of the list, but it was between 2 movies. I'd say entirely the 2 is between. Total Recall and The Thing are the last 2 I added to the list.
Oh man, that's. Like, see, that's pushing it for me. I'd say The Thing is a better movie, but I'd say that the Total Recall fits the description better.
Total Recall just has so many fascinating sci-fi elements, even though it's pretty flawed.
Yeah, like I said, I enjoy The Thing more, but if we're talking sci-fi, then I think it's definitely like fits the category more than The Thing does.
Oh yeah. And it just leaves you wondering throughout the whole film.
Yeah, even at the very end credits, I don't know if could we spoil that one since the movie came out in the frickin' 80s, but
We can say the concept. I mean, it was established in like the first half hour, so saying the concept isn't like the idea of whether he's dreaming or not
okay, so
in the simulator.
you explain the concept because you'd probably make more sense of it than I can, but go ahead.
So the basis of Total Recall is you have this dude, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Am I gonna have to defend the hill while doing this, or we're gonna have a small truce?
Nah, we'll just defend the hill while doing it because it doesn't take much to swing the sword. So pretty much there's like a program people can enter that lets them like. Is it a simulation? Would be the best like word for it?
Yeah, it's like virtual reality while you're sleeping. They input memories into your head. Is actually what it is.
Mhm.
So what it is Arnold is just not satisfied with his life on Earth. He wants to live on Mars. And so he sees an advertisement for a place called Total Recall, which implants memories of a vacation into your head. So then the movie carries on as he goes to Total Recall and gets what is suggested to be either these implants or he was actually a secret agent and his memory was wiped. and it's just ambiguous of whether or not that's the reality or what is actually happening. And it's
Yeah.
just it's great in that way.
And at the and the never really answers the question of if it's part of the simulation or if it's or if it's reality. And at the very it's at the end of the credits. Is that a spoiler?
Yeah, that'd probably be a spoiler.
Oh man. Okay, never mind then. There's not an end credit scene per se, but there's like something at the end of the credits that also leaves you wondering. You know, like Arnold was like a very, very, very typecast actor, but he actually had a string of very good movies.
Oh yeah, he was in a lot of good ones. He wasn't the best actor, but no,
But
he
yeah,
was
the
definitely
movies.
in good movies.
He was like I'm actually a huge fan of the Predator series, and I think he did really good in that one.
I can tell you the Predator did not make the list.
I'd say the Predator's another monster movie.
Yeah.
Like the people might bring up Alien, but I'll say Alien is a sci-fi movie considering like it's in space and everything else, and it has to do with expanding and going into new worlds and whatnot. So Alien, I would say, is a sci-fi movie above a monster movie. It could also be in the monster movie tier, but I'd see it would fit the sci-fi description much better than the Predator would.
Oh, it's 100% a sci-fi movie.
Mhm.
When I make the list, I actually plan on starting it today, posting on EMC on the forums.
Nice.
It'll premiere there. I'm going to give criteria as to what I looked for in the sci-fi movies, and then you'll be able to see how I based my list. Because what I consider the best movie is not what I have as number one, because it's a sci-fi movie list, not best movies in the sci-fi category.
So what would give it like one movie an advantage of the other? Like different sci-fi elements, or just better explained sci-fi elements, or because
Well, one
obviously
of
the
the
plot's
major-
important and whatnot too. But
So the three criteria that I looked for when doing this, number one is overall quality of the movie. Is it a good movie? Is it a bad movie? Equilibrium is a bad movie. That's why I didn't even consider it. I had to throw that in for you.
I don't know if I can. I guess it would be sci-fi. I don't know. It'd be pushing it for me to consider it. That's just because my opinion of what sci-fi is and sci-fi is probably different than what the actual genre is. Like to me, it's more than
Yeah.
just future. Like being in the future, I guess technically is science fiction, but I like to see like we talked about it before we went live, like sci-fi elements.
Well, that's number two. How much does it take use of the sci-fi genre?
Exactly.
Something like, trying to think of an example. Star Wars, I guess, is a classic sci-fi example. Really makes use of sci-fi elements to bring in a science fiction movie.
Yeah, like warp speed and everything else. Like they actually use like science fiction technology. Same thing with like Inception and Total Recall and Blade
Something like-
Runner, things like that.
Yeah, something like Godzilla, if I had included it, wouldn't have gotten very high with the sci-fi elements because the only sci-fi element in it is a giant monster, right?
Like I said, I consider that definitely more of a monster movie. I'm not batching it. I'm just saying I see it as a monster
No,
film
for
before I
sure.
see it
No, I
as a
agree.
sci-fi movie.
Number three, and this is probably the one I weighed most heavily because I think this is what makes science fiction the best genre of film, is how much it allows you to reflect back on our society today, or our society whenever the movie was made. Because you have these movies that are putting you either in the future or in just this different reality because science fiction. And the best it can do without feeling pointless is giving us something to compare to. This is something I think Blade Runner does just absurdly well. You can reflect back on our society with the things they do in Blade Runner. Parallels, all that stuff.
You know, I got two movies stuck in my head, and I don't know if they make the list, but one is Soylent Green, and the other one is Logan's Run. Those would be good sci-fi movies, but I don't know if you'd see those. Those ones are pretty old now.
I've heard of Soylent Green, but I haven't heard of Logan's Run.
That's a really good movie. It's old, so take it with a grain of salt, but it's a really good premise. I can tell you the premise without spoiling it. Pretty much, it's a utopian society, I'm about to die. I'm just gonna wait for that. Hang on a second. I have half a heart. How did I last like 30 seconds? It's a utopian society, and at the age of 30, everyone goes. I forgot what they called it, but they pretty much made it seem like. I can't spoil it. But pretty much like at the age of 30, you go to an even more utopian society apparently, and then like it's. And
Okay.
it's called Logan's Run because, like, after a while, they just reuse names, and the main character's name is Logan 5. It's a really good movie. Like, I don't know if I'd push it. I mean, technically it is sci-fi because, like, it's future, but it's one of those that you definitely need to put on your list because it's actually a very good premise. It's more of a psychological thriller, I guess, would be a better category for it. We should definitely check into it.
I shall put it on my watch list.
Say it's iconic for being good, but it actually tackles a lot of it's really more of a social experiment too, so we could have long talks about that. I like movies that make you question like your own morals, and that's definitely one of them.
Those are always great.
Okay,
I can tell you
say what was
time.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll tell you the time frame of movies released on it. So we have movies dating back all the way to 1927.
Are you blocking or am I
And
just
the
lagging?
one I was blocking.
Okay.
And the latest release was in 2019. So we have a vast variety of release dates with these. With the
So you're
list.
not putting movies from this year on it?
No, it's year's 2020. I haven't seen a sci-fi movie in 2020.
Tenet.
I'm sorry. That does mean Tenet didn't make the list. That's because I don't think it's sci-fi as much as action or spy.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Like, it's the same thing as Godzilla, where I just didn't think it fit enough of those sci-fi elements. Dune, though, if I waited to make the list, I'm sure Dune would probably make it.
I'm not familiar with that book at all. Apparently, I'm missing out on something. I'll have to definitely watch it when it releases.
Yeah, it's
What is
apparently
the- Go ahead.
it's apparently one of the best sci-fi books ever published.
What is the premise? Like, I have not seen. I've seen like everyone talking about it on Twitter and Facebook and things, but I've yet to actually sit down and watch the trailer. I might do that after we get off here.
Oh, to be honest, all I know about the premise is that it's Game of Thrones in space. I know nothing else.
Oh, so you haven't read the book either, then?
No. And I kind of want to go in not knowing much because I like doing that with movies.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like a movie like Parasite is like a prime example of going in blind.
Oh, for sure.
Inception would be another one like that. Pretty much any Nolan film, especially Memento. Like Memento, you cannot watch any trailers because you have to. I'd say that's probably one of the weakest Nolan films, but that's not a bad thing. Like that just goes to show the caliber of a director that Christopher Nolan is.
His worst film is still better than most filmmakers' best films. That's how crazy it is.
I'd say weakest, but that's I'd say of the weakest I've seen because there have been a couple I have not seen. Why is there a chicken in here? Has he always been in here?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think.
I don't know if I just haven't acknowledged him before, or just haven't seen it. I was like, "This is an egg." Like, "Oh, there's a chicken." Like, why is there a chicken in here?
What is this chicken doing?
Yeah. Oh, geez, there's so many people in here. With that little pocket at the bottom of the hill. Jeez, all I see is fire and bodies. So, okay, that was your third criteria. How many? Is that it for the list, or what else fits the criteria then?
Personal preference as well. Like, I think if Tenet were to make the list, I think it's obvious now I like it more than most people just because I like the concepts it explores.
I need to
So
rewatch
that would be a
it.
personal preference.
Like with any Nolan film, it takes more than one viewing to fully grasp it. So I'll have to rewatch it.
Like, you gotta keep in mind with the list, it's my opinion. This is my ranking of the 25
Yeah.
greatest. So people will disagree. It's based off of
Oh yeah.
what I find it.
Anytime there's an opinion, people will fight you.
So I'm going to invite people to make their own lists as well.
That's the thing. I might not agree with the rankings, but I will agree with them being on it probably. Like, that's the thing. Even if I don't like a movie particularly, I can understand why it might make a list. Like, I don't like Citizen Kane at all, but I respect what it did for the film industry. And things like that. That's probably like the prime example. Like the movie everyone thinks is amazing, and I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, well, no, it is a masterpiece, but other people see other things in films. It's all right.
I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying I didn't like it particularly. I think it. Sheesh. But like I said, I respect it because I know like what it did for the film industry, and especially like the zooming into the snowball was revolutionary and things like that. So I can respect it. I just particularly don't like it. But like if you're talking about like greatest films of all time list, I understand 100% why it would be on there. So that's that sort of thing. I don't think it should be number one like most people do, but I do believe it should be on the list, even if I don't particularly like it. A film like that for you would probably be 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I actually want to rewatch that one final time before I officially publish the list because I just want to get a better understanding of it.
Like I said, like that's a film you might not particularly like, but it's gonna be on like the greatest films of all time list too. Like even though you don't like it, you respect what it did for the film industry.
No, I
and respect
completely understand.
Kubrick.
Yeah, I know my interpretation of it is my own error, and I just didn't.
I think that would have been a
grasp enough of
great movie to see at the time. Like we can appreciate it for what it is now, but if we were like living in the time frame that it came out, I think it would have been a lot more impactful. Especially like it's like dealing with the Soviet Union and things like that. Like we didn't live through that, so we can try and put ourselves in like Kubrick's shoes, but we really can't. So like it gets to a point where age does wear on a movie, sadly.
Yeah.
Are you a horror film guy at all?
I mean, I like all genres as long as it's good.
I'm not a huge slasher flick guy. I'm definitely not like a gross guy. Like I don't want to talk about the Saw franchise. I'm not a big fan of films like that. Honestly, I'm gonna make myself sound old, but I'm a huge fan of Alfred Hitchcock, and I love psychological thrillers. Those.
Oh, I love Hitchcock as well.
I'm definitely more of a psychological thriller over just a straight up horror genre guy. And Hitchcock, like I could still watch his movies today, and he could still make you bite your nails and everything. Like people hear Hitchcock, they think Psycho, but he has pretty much every movie he did was good. Like The Birds, Vertigo. Not Rope. What was that one called?
Rope was on.
Was that the one with the college boys and like the murder? That's the one
I haven't
thinking
seen Rope.
I think that one's Rope, but that one's really good too. There's another one I can't think of, but it's really good too. And I don't know. I don't like black and white. Doesn't bother me. Like I don't know if like it's a deal breaker for some people, but like there's an old Sherlock Holmes TV show I still like love to watch every once in a while. And it's in black and white, and especially when in the modern era we use black and white for more artistic appeal, like in The Lighthouse, which I watched by the way, and things like that. But I like, dang it. Yeah. And the fact that Hitchcock could make his movies like so good, being limited by black and white, if you consider it a limitation, which I don't really have a heart. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna stand here and die. Yep. You still there?
Yeah, sorry. I was just focusing on telling someone not to interrupt 1v1.
Ah. But if we're like talking, you need to do a top like probably not 25 because I wouldn't know that many. You need to do a top 10 directors sometime.
Oh yeah, I want to do more lists if this one.
Hitchcock would be on there. Kubrick would be on there. I'd put Tarantino and Nolan on there. That'd be hard to decide for my. I wouldn't know the rankings to put them, but I know I could probably think of the 10 I would put on there. And I know like the one I would not put on there.
Oh.
Crap. Hang on. What is his name? The Transformers guy.
He wouldn't even be considered.
What's his name? Because I'm drawing a blank. Hang on. Wait a minute.
Michael Bay.
There you go. Yeah, like, yeah. Like,
He doesn't have one good movie.
he does. No, he does. It's called The Rock.
No, okay. I like The Rock, but it's like a 6 out of 10 at best.
I'd say, yeah. I guess I just like Sean Connery and Nick Cage. I'd be more generous at like a 7 or 7.5 probably. But that's actually a good movie that shies sort of away from his explosion genre.
But because it had story to it.
To say, like, I often forget that he directs that because it's so like not his style really. But yeah, like I'm not saying he doesn't draw money, because he does, and he's a good director. He just isn't my kind of director. So hang on, Tarantino, Nolan, Kubrick, Hitchcock. Okay, here's a controversial one. M. Night Shyamalan. Would you put him on the list? Like, cause he has bad movies, but like the ones that are good are iconic. Like obviously The Sixth Sense.
I don't know if I put him on greatest directors of all time, but I definitely think he gets so much slack for The Last Airbender that he doesn't deserve. Because he is a great director, and he just gets defined by his Last Airbender movie.
That's the thing, like directors, you can't look at one movie, because like, actually me and my brother were talking about this the other day, like, there are very few directors that have a great repertoire, like, all the way without making a single bad movie. And in my opinion, Tarantino, like, every single movie he's made has been iconic. Has been a blockbuster. Like, like, maybe like The Hateful Eight might be a 7 out of 10, but he doesn't have a bad movie.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And he's only making 10 films, and then he's gonna move on.
Yeah, so this next one's his last one.
Yep, and like I was watching, I want to say it was like the Round Table. I don't think that's what it's called though. It's pretty much where a group of like people sit down and have conversations, and this one was directors. And I don't know, have you ever seen interviews with Tarantino? You know his personality.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's arrogant, but like the thing that made me think about it is like they were talking about like all the movies they've done and everything, and they go to him and he's like, "Well, you've seen all mine," and I'm like, that's not like arrogance, but it's true. Like, you've seen every Tarantino film, because like there's not like some obscure Quentin Tarantino movie out there. Like, you've either seen them, or you've heard of them.
Yeah. Basically you've seen them all.
If you haven't seen it, you've at least heard of it, and you know enough about Tarantino to know that it's a Tarantino film. It's probably going to be good. Actually, I take that back. There's one I have not seen yet, and it is the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, you gotta watch that one.
His newest one, which I want to see, because I'm a huge Tarantino fan. Tarantino, Hitchcock, Nolan. Okay, I would put James Cameron on that list too, and that might be a controversial one.
Well, let me tell you about a movie that didn't make the cut for the list. This is probably the biggest cut, the most shocking that's not going to be on my sci-fi list. And that's The Terminator.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd put Terminator 2 above Terminator just because I think it's a better movie, but
Terminator 2 is on the list, and I think it does everything Terminator tried to do so much better and with so much more.
That's the thing. People think Terminator, they think Terminator 2, they think Arnold is a good guy. They forget that he was the bad guy in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Terminator started the franchise, but Terminator 2 Judgment Day is obviously the best in the series. And it's actually a very rare, very, very rare instance where the sequel is better than the original. There are very few franchises, I should say, that do that. I'd say Star Wars probably did, but that's a compliment. A New Hope is an amazing film, but Empire Strikes Back is obviously one of the great. That needs to be a list. Top 10 greatest movie sequels.
I could do that one next.
Because that one might be harder to do. Like, Alien 2 wasn't good. Predator 2 was Like, there's you want to talk about Lord of the Rings, maybe? What do you think? Do you think the second one was better?
I like the second one more, but they're all perfect movies in my opinion.
But would it make the list? Because, like, okay, like, my criteria, this is obviously going to be your list if you choose to do it, but my criteria would be that the sequel would have to be better than the original. So you couldn't just put a very good sequel into the top 10 greatest sequels list in my list. Or maybe the list would just be top 10 sequels that are better than the original, if you want to do it like that.
Do third installments count as sequels?
You know what? I would allow that, yeah. But no, none of the other Terminators are nearly as good as Judgment Day or 1 for that matter.
I'm just thinking Return of the King.
Yeah. Yeah, I just say sequels, even if they are the third, they're still a sequel to something. Return of the King is the best Lord of the Rings movie. I don't know though, because then you could throw in like any of the any Harry Potter film after the first one. So
It just has to be
it'd be pushing
significantly
it.
great as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you could say Deathly Hallows is better than Sorcerer's Stone, and I'd agree with you. But at the same time, like you're comparing two different generations. Like that was like a 10-year gap, and the technology got better and everything too. So Terminator 2: Judgment Day is still an amazing film today, using the technology they did then. So Terminator 2: Judgment Day would probably be number 1 on the list for me. Empire Strikes Back, but Empire Strikes Back is better than A New Hope, but A New Hope is still so much good. And like, it's weird because like Judgment Day is just such a better film than the first one. And that's not saying the first one's bad by any means. It's just such a better movie.
The first one is a great movie and all, but it's a completely different thing. It's more of a thriller and an action movie than it is sci-fi. You have this unstoppable force chasing a human who will do something in the future. That's basically all there is to Terminator. With Terminator 2, it has that same idea. It has those same concepts, the same thrill, the same energy, but it also explores destiny, fate, the idea of can you change the future? All the stuff about like humanity's sins falling back on it. Like there's so much more to the sequel that makes it everything the first one was and better, so much better. So I just couldn't include the first one because it didn't hold up looking at all the other movies and all the other criteria I have.
You know, this might be a controversial one. I'd say that Terminator 2 is Arnold's best film.
Performance-wise, or just the best one he's in?
Just the best one he's in. Like it's better than Total Recall. It's better than
I agree.
Kindergarten Cop. Like he has a bunch of films I can't think of.
Better than Kindergarten Cop. It's better than Twins.
Oh, I forgot about Twins.
It's better than Deck the Halls. These aren't high comparisons.
What's that movie he's in? Oh, I love it so much. Oh wait, no, that's not him. It's Sylvester Stallone. Never mind. Sylvester Stallone is another like sort of like Arnold actor, but he got cast for his muscles, but he's actually not bad. Like The Expendables is a good movie. I don't know about the sequels, but the first one's really good. Although I actually love the original Dredd. It's not a good movie. Don't watch it. Don't put it on the list. It's one of those movies that I acknowledge it's bad, but I like it because it's bad. It's 100% one-liners and cheesy technology. It's a sci-fi movie for sure, but but Dredd, the one that was released a few years
Alex
back,
Garland's
that
one?
is an amazing movie.
Yeah, I've heard Alex Garland's Dredd is pretty good.
You could call that a sci-fi movie, and I don't know if it'd make you a list or not, but it's definitely underrated. It's one of those movies that got flown under the radar for some reason, but it's hands down one of the best superhero movies. Like
Yeah,
I've
I would
watched
consider it
Dredd
a
over-
superhero.
Like I was actually talking to my brother about that. Like the older I get, the more I prefer like mature movies. It just if you make a PG-13 war movie, it's kind of lackluster because you're getting shot and things. People aren't gonna say, "Oh gosh, golly!"
Well,
like that's just not how they're gonna talk.
Dunkirk, PG-13 war movie, one of the best released recently.
That's one of the best war movies
1917
with.
as well.
That was PG-13, really?
I think
I don't think it was. I think that was R with the blood and everything.
Maybe I'll have to double check.
Yeah, let me find that out real quick. I'll just go ahead and type.
Dunkirk was PG-13, and that was damn good.
Did Dunkirk have any like actual violence in it?
It had a lot of shooting, but you never really saw.
That's the
blood,
thing.
I don't think.
Like Dunkirk is I will classify it as a war movie, but it was more of an evacuation. So like
Yeah.
it wasn't like D-Day. No,
It's intense.
1917's R, man. That's the thing.
Oh.
I thought it was because like you realize they say like more than one F-bomb and or they show blood, then it gets
Right, yeah.
That's the thing. It's really stingy between the PG-13 rated R genre.
Like, it's a steep cliff. At one moment it's PG-13, the next moment something happens in it's R.
Mm-hmm. There's only one movie I know of off the top of my head that got away with the PG-13 rating. It had more than 2 F-bombs, and it was The Martian. It actually had 2 in it. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I've always heard the rule, like, in order to be PG-13, it can only have 1.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
I've never actually
Yeah.
backed that up, but yeah, The Martian, he actually says it twice. And he mouths it more than that. Like there's one scene, you've seen The Martian, right?
Yeah.
When he's in his rover and he's just reading the screen and it like cuts to his face so you don't hear what he says. You should read the book. The book is amazing, and he's very vulgar in the book. But obviously, you're stranded on Mars. Like, I wouldn't be happy about it. Like,
You know what my favorite F-bomb in any movie was?
what's that?
X-Men First Class.
Logan. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
just this
exactly
one
what.
scene.
That's
Hugh
what.
Jackman's cameo is just F off.
Yeah. And I actually like that because they actually played back to that in the sequels. When. But I guess I don't know if it's true or not. But I've heard that was like unscripted. Like I guess he was supposed to just shrug him off or anything. And that's why, like, when they look at each other, they realize they don't really know what to do, and they just leave. So I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, it's great. I
It's
love
hilarious.
impromptu moments in films.
That's why Taika Waititi movies are so good.
Like, if you didn't know, Full Metal Jacket. Have you seen Full Metal Jacket?
Not yet. I still need to.
Well, the opening 20 minutes, you probably know, like, the rant, like, the drill sergeant gives them. It's pretty famous. Like, that is, like, entirely off Gunny's head for most of it. And it was funny because you watch it, and the drill instructor in the first half of the film was an actual real-life drill instructor. And and Kubrick was worried that he couldn't be mean enough. He's like, okay, I got you.
Boy.
Yeah.
I still need to watch a lot of the Kubrick films.
It's almost comical how much the knockback is. It's like yeet. If yeet was a
Yeah.
sword, like, it's
The
even
eater.
more funny to watch it from like, say, like a third person perspective. So you hit somebody else and you see them go flying across the screen.
Sometimes it doesn't seem to work though.
That's the thing.
Like,
Like,
it doesn't
I've noticed that
knock
too.
out.
I've been hit with it a couple times and it hadn't sent me flying. So I don't know if it's 100% effective in PvP or not.
I think it's my thorns. I think it's countering it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like you're hitting me at the same time as I'm hitting you, and my
Yeah,
thorns is doing
yeah,
the
it
damage.
cancels
and the
out.
knockback's overriding.
Yeah, one overrides the other. I don't know if it's true, but it's a very good theory. Empire Podcast is out now if you haven't seen it yet. We have others in the pipeline, which I'll have to talk to Dave once we go offline here. Diss track in the works, although that'll be my own private channel, obviously.
He's gonna try his best, but it's gonna flop. I'm gonna decimate him.
Oh, jeez, that spawned right in front of you. Do I have thorns on the suit of armor? I think I do. I'll have to check when I die. Oh, jeez, there's so many people on the ladder. Oh, wait, it's Marley's armor. Of course I don't have thorns.
It's always Elite Eclipse going in to steal the kill. I'm calling you out, Bryony.
Oh, wow, dude. It's been almost an hour already. That's crazy. I gotta get to the DMV today. I bought a new motorcycle. I guess that answered the question if Elite. I'm wondering if, like, the server caught up to me or my internet caught up, because I haven't had that problem since the first, like, opening 15 or so minutes, so that's good.
Yeah, I think it was just like short internet hiccup.
So,
Nice, running away.
So did we cover all the criteria? Did you just have those 3 criteria? Because I'm very eager to see this list. Very eager to discuss it.
Trying to think if I have any more criteria for it. I know there are like a few more things I was thinking of, but like those are the main three things I'm looking for in these movies, and the main ways I'm ranking them. Just quality, use of sci-fi elements, and how much it criticizes our society.
Really? Really? Everyone's wearing my player head? I go up to the top of the hill and they're all just wearing my head.
Yes, fellow zealots.
Well, does that make them my zealots though? Like, I don't really
No.
know. Yeah, it's
They're
my
mocking
head, not
you.
yours.
They're mocking you.
No, they're imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery, you know. You know what? This would be like a subgenre of your list, but top 10 like sci-fi, like pieces of tech themselves in sci-fi movies.
Oh yeah.
So like the machine in Inception, or that gun in Blade Runner.
Number one.
Actually, I would also say if we're talking weapons, it's got to be Judge's gun, which is amazing. The Lawgiver. That's an amazing gun. That's an amazing sci-fi one.
Weapons? We're talking weapons. It's got to be the lightsaber. Sorry, Deadmon.
Oh, probably, yeah. But in terms of more iconic, but I just love like I said, like Judge Dredd is a good favorite film of mine. And if you don't know what the Lawgiver is, it's a pistol. And he speaks to it, and it switches modes. But what makes it more iconic than that is that it's imprinted to his hand, so no one else can shoot his gun. So, like, there's one scene where someone tries, and it blows up in the guy's hand and blows the guy's hand off. But it's awesome. He's like around a corner. He's just like full auto.
I still gotta watch that.
Heat seeker, and like speaks back to him. It's just such an iconic like gun, and it's just so cool. Like it's just something I think is just really cool. I don't know if it'd make the list just because it's a gun that's voice activated, but I just love the way he talks to it and talks back. And like all the modes, like full auto, rapid fire. I just love the way it talks back.
There are a few sci-fi films that are just like fun action ones that I want to mention in honorable mentions. Just things like Pacific Rim that are just they're meh movies, but I just enjoy watching them.
That Pacific Rim is borderline monster film too for me.
True.
I love it too. Like I don't think it's I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but it's another one I do enjoy watching. Like that's the thing. Like sometimes a movie doesn't have to have plot to be good. A prime example of that is the John Wick series, which it does have plot. Don't get me wrong, but it's 90% of the movie is choreographed violence, and I
Yeah.
So I don't need to see a John Wick trailer. I know it's going to be Keanu Reeves doing Keanu Reeves things. Like,
Well, something you might notice about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when you watch it is it barely has a plot, but it's still fantastic.
that's one I need to watch. Although Uncut Gems is probably number one on my to-watch list right now.
Yeah, get that watched.
Like my brother's a huge cinema guy too. He's not a critic, but he's a huge like he's more of the producing side. But like he actually watched Uncut Gems back to back. Like he saw it the first time and he immediately like watched it again. So here it's definitely number one on my list to watch.
I would have done the same, but I saw it at TIFF, so I kind of had to wait 3 months.
Yeah, he had it on Netflix, obviously. So like that's number one on my list. I'll probably knock that out this weekend because I really want to see it. I won't say I'm a huge Adam Sandler fan, but I'm a huge fan of typecast actors in serious roles or different roles. So like I'm very eager to see what it brings.
Well, I thought Adam Sandler was the worst actor in the business until I watched Uncut Gems. It completely changed my perspective of him.
See, he just had a bad run of movies. Like there's a lot of actors that have like a really good stream of movies, then it just goes downhill.
Okay,
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
but-
Sylvester Stallone, Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey.
That's fair, except for the fact that he produces and writes his films. I don't know if he writes them, but he produces them and submits the concept. So his bad run of films is on him.
Well, the other thing is it's an Adam Sandler film, so if you don't like him, you're not gonna like the movie. But like 50 First Dates is a really good Adam Sandler film, like Waterboy and things like it. It just depends. If you don't like his kind of humor, then you won't like it. I'm gonna answer that. Am I still alive? Oh yeah, I'm still alive. Okay. Whoops. Sorry for all those who hear that. Me hitting my boom.
There you go, your authentic Deadmon 5 raid. He's not doing parkour, but he's still raid.
Oh, it's okay. Like if you go AFK in the PvP server, that's on you. It's like, oh wow, we're actually getting a pretty good stream of people this morning. Hello, everybody.
You've been doing the hill for an hour.
Welcome to our TED Talk about sci-fi movies. Like the first 10 minutes was The Hill, and everything since then has been sci-fi films. Although to be fair, there's only so many times I can say The Hill before it's like, okay, like.
Save it for your diss track.
I was just about to say that. I was like, we'll save the killer bars for the diss track.
So he thinks he'll have killer bars.
I'll be Mon, but you'll be the one that's dead by the end of it.
Need some rewording, but you know, it's not bad.
I'm not a writer. I'm more of a method actor.
I'm sure that'll show.
Wait till you see the producer, though. You won't understand the level of production that's gonna go into this diss track. Imagine
YouTube royalty-free MP3s. Produced by Audacity.
I know a guy. You don't know. I might hook myself up with the same guy who does my intros, ukulele diss track.
God, I hope. I know a guy goes and hires someone on Fiverr.
I like that website quite a bit, especially for like my intro and outro. Like that was very well done.
Yeah, intros and outros are pretty
Considering
nice.
he wrote like the own lyrics and everything too. Like I'm very impressed. I actually am gonna probably rehire the same guy in a year or so. I want to have a new one for like the new year.
The sequel, Early Morning Empire 2.
I'll probably keep the outro, but I like the intro. I want the intro to say something about like doing this for a year, yada yada yada. I pretty much just tell him like what like I want included, and like he adds the lyrics to fit the bill. So
I think you should just play the discount Morning Empire.
you know, for a guy that made that in like 5 minutes, it's actually pretty good.
Thank you.
I love the off-key singing and everything. It made me roll. That's for sure.
It's all so smooth.
The fact that it rhymes too is like just very impressive. I forgot I had cooked pork chops. They were hiding behind my mic, so I realized I could have been eating this whole time. Like seriously, like from my eyesight, like I have my cooked pork chops at the very right of my toolbar, and that's exactly where my mic sits. So it blocks that one box. So that's great. Man. Well, this episode's about to wrap up. I actually think I had a decent amount of time on the hill. Like that's actually like jokes aside, I think I did all right. We'll have to like
You
play
did
it
all
back
right.
to see. But to be fair, like there was like 10 people here, 3, 6,
Sure.
okay, 7, but still. So I think everyone got a little bit of time on the hill. You were in my head too. You have become one
Yeah.
of me.
No wonder I'm taking so much damage. Now it makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's cosmetic, not authentic. Oh, I guess authentic. Yep, fire. That moment when you have half a heart and you're on fire, and it's like, is it even worth trying to save myself? Alrighty, guys. I will see you next week. What do you? I don't want to pressure you, dare put you on the spot. But when do you think that list will be released?
I want to get it done today.
Okay, so we should be able to talk about it next episode. That's what I was
Oh,
hoping
for sure. 100%.
Good deal, good deal. Alrighty, let's play the outro and go home. Thanks, everybody.
The early morning empire, now the show